Hi everyone, welcome to my next video. Yes, we're out hiking and I hope it's not too windy out here because it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. I do believe this trail leads to the ocean, although I haven't been here in quite a while. And I want to talk about another, I guess you could call it an epiphany as an estranged mom. And these things just sort of come to me randomly. And I'm always excited to present anything that I think might be inspiring or helpful to all of you. And in particular, before I forget, this video is for those parents who are estranged from their adult children without any explanation, any form of communication, suddenly disconnected as I was, and well, in my case, I was treated very badly before I was banished from my adult daughter's life. But this video is for all of you who are still struggling with the crushing devastation of being tossed away by your adult child, particularly without any communication, explanation, interest in resolving any issues, especially wondering what the heck happened. And I have decided that what happened with me was I'm just no longer valued. It's as simple as that. But I'm going to share with you something that I hope is empowering to you. And it ties in actually with an ex-husband of mine. And it has to do with how other people react to us and how we can move past it. So here we go. And I found these flowers at another park, but I find these seeds fascinating and quite beautiful. And I think as a kid I used to pick them all off and throw them up in the air. But I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to leave them as they are. And these are the flowers, I believe. But aren't they beautiful? Everything is so beautiful. And I'm just leaving the parking lot, so that's why you hear some traffic noise. And there is a car in the parking lot, so we might come across some hikers, but that's okay. But I'm going to choose a path that I have not been on in at least a year, and I do believe it leads to the ocean. Oh my gosh, there's some more of these things. Now, one advantage to my marriages that did not work out was that I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself. And I learned about abusive behavior. And I'm going to start off with extremely abusive husband who I divorced. Gosh, has it been 30 years? I think it has, because I was 40. I'm shocked to even think of it that long ago. But it was. I was 40. But one thing he used to tell me, and it took me a long time to get it. He's beautiful. It took me a long time to get it. He used to tell me all the time that it was because of me that he was so upset. And it was because of me, whatever the situation, whatever happened, it was because of me that he was angry. Or it was because of me that he was frustrated. Or it was because of me for this or that, whatever. And I'm embarrassed to admit I used to believe him because, of course, I didn't think very much of myself. And so I thought, well, if it's because of me, then I need to fix whatever is wrong with me, right? Well, needless to say, I finally figured it out. But this ties in with being an estranged parent. And how is that? Well, this is what I think. And I would love to hear all of your comments. Isn't this goldenrod beautiful? This is beautiful too. Every season up here in Maine has its own beauty and its own flowers. That's why I love New England. All the changes of scenery and change of seasons. So how does this tie into being an estranged parent? Well, this is how I see it. Since I was mistreated quite badly, and what I mean by that is demeaning responses to my thoughts, my ideas, my opinions. And she wasn't like this as a little girl. She was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun together, taking her to the park, laughing at home, reading books, all kinds of things. This didn't happen until she 18ish, and it gradually became quite worse. Sheppy, come on. Now, over time, and I talked about this before. Sheppy, come on. Over time, her behavior began to become more apparent that she no longer approved of me. And I've talked about that before too. And it was very hurtful. And I'm sure many of you can relate to that. Because she was not that way as a little girl. And when I was finally completely shut out of her life, I knew then that I was no longer of value. But here's the thing, and this is my point of this video. We are not responsible for other people's emotions, reactions, or decisions. And that took me a very long time to understand, because I thought I was. And that comes from, well, if you've read my book, I See the Elephant, that comes from a whole lot of disastrous things that had happened to me and how I was raised. And I get that now. So, if you're an estranged parent and you are devastated and you don't know what the heck is going on and you blame yourself and you've done the best you can and you just can't seem to get over the devastation. Oh, this is beautiful. I haven't been down this trail at all. I hope these people aren't down here, because I don't want to stop my video and the dogs will go crazy if they see someone. Oh my gosh, what are these? If anybody knows what these are, that's one reason I love hiking. You never know what you're going to find. Some kind of berries. And no, I'm not going to pick them or eat them because I don't know what the heck they are. Aren't they beautiful? So, if someone is angry or frustrated or disgusted, that's not up to us. What we can do is offer to communicate, to try to resolve why they're so upset or angry or frustrated. But it's not our responsibility if they choose not to communicate with us. Just like my husband. He was angry on his own. He chose violence on his own. He chose to be abusive on his own. It wasn't because of me. It was his own choice to react, being with me. And I'm sure he does this to everyone. And he will, I'm sure, continue to blame everyone for his behavior. So, I suddenly realized that my adult daughter's choice to exclude me from her life is her choice, was helpful, but I did not or am not responsible. Now, you might say, gee, Barbara, what did you do wrong? What did I do wrong? Probably a lot of things. And here comes a helicopter. Probably a lot of things. But don't we all do things wrong? I have no idea who they're looking for. And we were people before we were parents. And we had a life before we were parents. I hope you can hear me. And our whole identity is not being a parent. We are other things. Oh my gosh, he's coming over here. What the heck is this guy doing? Maybe he's looking for someone. Oh my gosh, maybe someone's missing at sea. I don't know. Sheppy's a little scared. So my point is, our adult children are responsible for their own reactions, as we are responsible for ours. And yes, if we did something that was so extremely horrible, that is without question something we need to take ownership of as parents. But if we look back and analyze how we raised our kids, and we sincerely can't come up with anything abusive, deliberately hurtful, or even things that may have been hurtful, if our adult children refuse to want to reconcile, understand us, have compassion for us as even fellow human beings, let alone parents, then that's on them. But I tell you what, anybody who is capable of doing that is capable of doing it to anybody else. And that is not our loss, that is their loss. And now I see estrangement from my daughter as setting me free to live the rest of my life, my golden years, in peace. Because I don't want any more abuse in my life. I've had enough. And it was her choice, not mine, to eliminate me from her life. And almost psychologically destroyed me. But she didn't. But what she did was create a missing link in my grandchildren's lives by excluding them from me. And yes, that's sad. And no, I'm not going to force any kind of visitation. I'm not going to do that. But what is that animal? I don't know. I don't know if you can hear that. Maybe they'll come and look for me if I'm still around when they're 18 or 20. But I'll tell you one thing, I don't want any more drama. I don't want any more hate. I don't want any more criticism or abusive behavior. I think that's a wild turkey. And I missed getting a really cute shot the other day. I had a whole flock of wild turkeys come by my cabin, and they were just so darn cute. And then this morning, as I was leaving, I had about 10 deer cross my driveway right in front of me. And I need to get a trail cam because I would have loved to have included that in the video. And one of the deer It was a little baby. He was almost all white. He was so darn cute. I don't know what that is. So, as with my crazy marriage, very short-lived, thank goodness, I was never responsible for my ex-husband's rage. Oh my gosh, maybe it's a duck. I've got Maggie on a leash, else she would have been off and running. Oh, this is beautiful. Look at this. So we're not responsible for anyone else's decisions, behavior, or emotions. We are only responsible for our own. And that is up to us. And so I've decided, oh, this is beautiful. I've decided long ago that my choice is to be happy and be free from any abuse ever again. And if other people choose to be angry, bitter, resentful, whatever, that is not my problem, nor is it yours. And I think being a parent makes us feel like we should be responsible because we've been responsible for our children, raising them. Yet, they're their own person, and as adults, we are no longer responsible. They have learned all they choose to learn from us, and they will form their own life with what we've taught them. And if they choose to not value what we've taught them or what we've tried to teach them, then that's not our problem either. And it is no longer our job, even though we'll always be their parents, it is no longer our job to try to teach them anything. And so I hope this helps all of you, estranged parents. That strange animal is really upset, but it's not really close to me. It's not up to us to resolve someone else's emotions, anger, frustration. But if they come to us for help, then we can certainly do that. But in my scenario, as in many of yours, being abruptly cut off and abandoned and considered no longer of value and completely obliterated in their lives, we can accept that and choose to enjoy ourselves, and that's exactly what I'm doing. And I learned a lot from that ex-husband, blaming me all the time. And I so believed him for so many years. And I believed that I was responsible for everybody's emotions and reactions. And it took me a very long time to realize that that was not the case at all. Sheppy, come on. Sheppy's getting a little too close to that ledge. Oh, he just went down there. So I want to show you the rest of this path. And then I'm going to let Maggie go swimming. And please feel free, if there's anything I said that you disagree with, nasty comments will be deleted. And if you're extremely nasty, you will be banned. And happily so, because my channel is a safe place for everyone who is looking for a safe place to be. Oh my gosh. There are a lot of steep ledges here. And I will let Maggie go in a minute. And I'm very carefully walking down here. Oh, this is beautiful. It's beautiful, Max. And you can tell the water has come right up here from these washed out logs. probably in storms at very, very high tide. That's beautiful. I'll just let this run for a minute so you can see this, the view. Oh, you can see how the rocks were all pushed up from the storm. Look at this. Wow, it's beautiful. Now, someone told me in the comments that there's a nearby town not far from me with quite a few, and I can't remember, I think he said petroglyphs, which are ancient writings or carvings on the sides of cliffs. And it's about an hour's drive from me. I'm going to go check that out, and hopefully I can find them, because I'd love to do a video on that. Not today, but before winter, because I would be fascinated to find those. And thank you very much for telling me, whoever you were. And here comes a bee, of course. There's always just one fly or one bee. And I hope you enjoyed the focus of this video today, and that we are not responsible for other people's reactions, opinions, emotions, or decisions, regardless of the past. Because we've all certainly done things that we perhaps regret, and we all have things that we could have done better had we known better. But our adult children will also. And were they perfect children? Absolutely not. So why is that? That they don't want to take responsibility sometimes for things that they did. And I'm not saying it should be a blame game. No. But accountability. So thanks so much, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. It is absolutely stunning out here today. And my next video, I'm going to talk about, the title is going to be Are Senior Years Really Golden? Because they are for me. And I'm going to talk about some pretty funny things about growing old, and things that I'm looking forward to. And hopefully it will make you laugh and give you some inspiring thoughts if you're looking at senior years, or if you're already a senior. And so with that, I hope you're all having a really great day. Take care, everyone.